This episode of Discussing Death Battle is brought to you by Delta Airlines. At least we're not United. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Discussing Death Battle. I, as always, am your host, Wolf, and with me today we have Mo.
I'm still banned.
You will never be unbanned, unfortunately. And
it's also before. So hold on, sorry. Just one thing.
It's time to wake up.
Yeah, I know. Just one thing to anybody who, all like 5 or 6 of you who showed up to the stream I made when editing. Thanks, you made it actually really fun and got the editing for the last episode done fast. I plan to keep doing them because it keeps me focused whilst editing. Hopefully we won't have the same issues. So yeah, keep an eye out on the channel. I'll put up videos whenever I'm about to stream the editing process. Should be next weekend or so, maybe tomorrow if I'm lucky.
You do know you could have done this without us having to do the recording, right? Because we're kind of on a time crunch here.
Shut up! Now go!
And we also have, you're probably hearing him in the background, Metabro!
I mean, I hope you hear me in the background. That would be pretty.
Did you say it? Hold
I said him, I did not say it. Stop trying to distract us from time. And as always, well, not always, we have a guest with us today. Everybody welcome, Grand Blazer. Say hi.
One of these things is not like the others.
One of these things is not from North America, and that makes him inferior by comparison.
Yeah, sorry, Bo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Our president isn't a meme, so.
Well, technically, Blaze is not even from America. He's Canadian. Lucky
Don't
bastard.
make us drop a Moab on you.
Oh,
I thought it was 50 Tomahawk missiles.
Okay, come on. We have a time crunch here. Anyway.
Okay. But we have less to talk about today.
Yeah, but still. Anyway, so there was a fight that came out last week. Or a couple weeks ago, depending on when Mo finishes editing this and puts it out, which is usually the week.
Wait, look, it'll be out fast.
Yeah.
I do have a week holiday-ish, kinda.
Lucky.
So, we don't know.
Anyway. Anyway, the 75th episode of Death Battle happened, and it's one they've been hyping up for a long time, and that is the Megazord versus Voltron.
GG, Power Rangers. I made the joke. Are you happy? Comment section. I made the joke. I saw that comment. Yeah. Wait, someone said I'm surprised they didn't make a GG Power Rangers show because go Power Rangers GG.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
I get it. I have standards.
Yeah. I know, but like, I've done it now. Okay, we can move on.
Okay,
we can move on with our lives. Anyway.
So it's good.
It was awesome. I will admit that the hype was.
It was a
real.
good fight, yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's by far.
One thing I will admit this now. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, it's by far the best fight this season.
It's the best fight since. I think you said this before we started Meta. It's the best fight since Hulk versus Doomsday.
Yeah, by far.
Easy.
Definitely. I'd say it's better than Hulk versus Doomsday, but that's just me.
Ooh,
I can see it, but I wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far either.
I can see why, but like.
I do have some legitimate complaints about it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm guessing it's the same complaint everybody has for one.
I don't know what that complaint is, so I cannot confirm nor deny.
MatPat.
No, actually, MatPat is one of the few things He was one of the few things I was not looking forward to when the fight started, and then when they were hyping it up, and then when I heard him, I was like, it's not that bad. The problem is everybody's voice acting in that fight was terrible.
But they kind of like intentional.
I wouldn't say that.
Nah, I think you're.
I did not like the voice acting.
That only MatPat's was terrible.
MatPat's was not bad, in my honest opinion. MatPat's was not bad.
Because it's only MatPat. It sounds nothing like the person he's trying to
yeah, but I still didn't think it was very. Okay,
imitate. Thank you, Mac.
Okay, I'll admit, terrible was a bit of an extreme word of putting it. It's not. Their voice acting isn't terrible, but it's not great. I wouldn't even call it great.
It's cheesy dialogue and it's cheesy acting.
Yeah, but it's not even
like,
good in a cheesy sort of way. Like,
it kind of every other person except Matt Pat reminded me of their version from their source material. That's
well,
what
I
you
can't
want.
say anything about
especially
Matt
the pig.
Pat and Voltron because I've never seen Voltron. But
My issue wasn't really that.
and even then,
cheesy,
I forgot
but-
who it was. I think it was Alejandro.
Jeep Grand Blazer was talking.
Sorry.
It wasn't really that they sound cheesy for me, but it's like Jason and Keith, they were like did most of it, and like for example, like I was most hyped for like Andre Meadows, who was voicing Zach, but he got two lines in maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. In all fairness, a lot of the time in both their sources, it is Keith and Jason who do most of the talking. But it would have been nice to hear a bit more from them. I think the Rangers got a little bit more talking, with the exception of Pidge, who had a good couple of lines.
Yeah, I was
Pidge
hearing
was like my
Kaiser's Pidge was great.
Yeah, but the voice acting isn't
Kaiser's
the big
Pidge
problem
was
I
good.
have with it. Now, the big problem I have with it is the way that the Paladins, the Rangers, and the not fully assembled robots look. Like, when the Megazord is just in the Dinozords, and when Voltron is just in the Lions, they don't look very good, in my opinion. They look very...
I think the Lions look okay, but I agree on the other points, yeah.
Yeah, the Rangers look
fine.
The Rangers look like like from an early like N64 or even PS1 game. Like when the game when those consoles launched.
Now, in all fairness, I think that I think that's fine. That's an okay concession to make because the focus isn't like the focus isn't on them.
The giant robots themselves.
Minus Keith, the Paladins are on screen probably collectively for all of 2 seconds. Actually, no, Keith and Page have it a little bit more. And the Paladins are by far the worst of that group, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're freaking straight out of the Uncanny Valley. It's fucking creepy.
The princess, I don't remember what her name is.
Allura.
She's on screen for like Allura. She's on screen for like 2 seconds. Her model is like probably the worst there. And I don't know if it was just me, but I swear that the Keith and Lance models were the exact same, except like
I know,
the
right?
parts on Keith.
That's what I was saying.
Probably
Although, like, Torian said that he pulled like those from, I believe, the same game, Dynasty Warriors, so it could have just been the same character. And I think, like he said, Pidge was based off Harry Potter, which worked out really good, actually.
Yeah,
Punk
they do
was
kind of
just
look
some
similar.
random 40-year-old, and I don't remember what he said Allura was based off of.
Yeah, but like you said, the focus isn't really on the Rangers or Paladins. It's just on the Megazord and Voltron. And let's be honest, those two look fucking awesome.
And the choreography was great. It was the best we've had in a while. It was fast.
Yeah.
There was a lot of flex shit going on.
I will say
it was great.
We'll get to that in a minute. Actually, the music, because there's a lot to talk about.
The fight never really slowed down. Like, it always felt like something was happening. You were always engaged in it.
Yeah,
that's the problem, and not only Death Battles, but not even just Death Battles and DBXs. Even one of Melee's recently. There's been a lot of slowdown and a lot of nothing happening on screen for a little bit too long, and this fight didn't have that, and it's just really refreshing to be back to that again.
And it's not just that either. One thing I really gotta give is the writing, because as much as I don't really like the voice acting, the writing was pretty much perfect for how both teams act. Like, if you compare this especially with like the minute matchup pissed me off because they made the teams not look like they gave a shit about certain members of the team, which is not true. They both teams they pretty much care about each other. They're basically families.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like played off their laps and stuff.
Yeah, but it's still kind of an asshole move. But
I'm actually with Wolf here. I'm not a big fan of either, but I'm with Wolf here in that, like, that's so out of character that just saying, oh, it's played off for laughs isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Well, I know, I'm just saying,
make enough.
But I think that was like played off for laughs. I don't know if I agree with it either.
But they did act in character, and the writing also, like, just the epic moments they had. Like, I think we all know the whole thing of give him covering fire with what? Everything! That was an awesome line.
Probably the best.
Matt Pat, like, I wasn't the biggest on his performance, but I think he like killed that moment at least.
Yeah, he did kill that moment.
I don't hate. I'm gonna say this forever. I don't hate Matt Pat's voice, and I certainly don't hate his role in there. I think he's an odd fit for Keith, but it works somehow.
It works for that one line, but you can't make that line the way it was.
Well, I think he also
can't
did
make
pretty
that sound
good
bad.
with the. I think he also did pretty good with the form feet and legs, form arms and body, and all form.
I think that might be why they casted him. Actually, just how he delivers that.
That there was that reason, and she also confirmed like why they cast like Matt Pat aside from that.
Yeah.
And the basic reasoning was I don't know if you guys saw it or if the people watching saw it, but it was Keith had a very distinct voice that they weren't really able to replicate. So what they decided to do was they gave Keith like someone with their own unique voice, in this case Matt Pat, and tried to make that work. And she said that was kind of the same thing.
I can kind of see what their logic was, but it doesn't really work in practice.
Yeah, I don't think it worked, but I can see the reasoning.
But I still don't think it was bad.
I don't think it worked this time.
No, I can see what they're trying though.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just a death battle.
Oh
Fuck it, I fucked it up.
Also, I will also say this. This also kind of works with, this is another thing that kind of goes along with the writing, is, like, throughout the entire thing, you legit, even if you knew who actually was going to win, they actually did a really good job of making it seem like an even fight. Like, there were times when the Megazord had a huge advantage on Voltron, and times when when Voltron had a huge advantage on the Megazord.
For a lot of people, that would be, and that's actually a problem with the fight. Personally,
I don't think that's ever a problem, because the one thing
Here's the thing. These fights are like, yes, they aren't a 1-for-1 with the research, but they are meant to be a representation of the research. And what they said in the analysis portion of the episode, the like verdict portion, completely contradicts some of the shit that went down in the fight. Like the Megazord, basically with what they gave us at the end, which is actually 100% accurate. The Megazord shouldn't have been able to touch Voltron in any way, shape, or form ever. And a lot of times when they do this and make a fight close or just do it in such a way to have a hype moment, it can lead to some really stupid shit like the infamous Bowser is stronger than Ganon in any way, shape, or form. Then how come Ganon caught his punch? It's stuff like that. So the Megazord cannot keep up with Voltron in close range because of its speed, which is how it got an advantage over it and was able to take off its arm, of course. Its strength is too much, which is how whenever they had a 1-for-1 confrontation, the Megazord overpowered Voltron, except when Voltron grabbed it. It's just
I understand.
A lot of that.
I understand the animation is supposed to be a representation of what
the person who brought this to my attention, it was Shad who brought it to my attention. He gave the comparison to Wolverine versus Raiden, where with the research they had, Raiden shits on Wolverine. I disagree with that, but whatever. This is how they interpret it, so let's go with this. But and
I like it. I like it when they do that, though.
Yeah, that's how the fight went. Is that Wolverine shit?
Even if you disagree with the logic that they use, like if the animation if they put in the effort to for the animation to follow what they found. That's that's like a really cool touch. I like that.
To give the example of Wolverine versus Raiden, Wolverine shit on by Raiden according to their research. But he had a couple of advantages. He could sniff out Raiden if he went into stealth. The first time Wolverine landed a proper hilt, Raiden tried stealth. His healing factor is a huge advantage. He can outlast Raiden. So when his healing factor came into play, like when he was stabbed, he got another combo off. And his Berserk mode gives him a little bit of a leg up on Raiden as soon as he pops it. That's when he got another hit in. His tenacity is another point for him. He got more hits in when that happened.
Okay, we're not here to talk about Wolverine versus Raiden.
I know. It's just it's a comparison, Wolf.
I know.
Yeah. So otherwise, he got it. Yeah. So, but this fight, it's like, oh, Voltron shits on the Megazord in every way, which is accurate. But then in the fight, it's one of the most even animations we've ever had. You know, it's a bit weird. I'm not saying the fight was bad. It doesn't take away from the animation itself. It's just kind of the episode as a whole. It's just like,
yeah.
I don't know. You know.
I understand, but I also don't like. I think nobody likes it when there's a huge ass curb stomp battle, even if it's a character you like going up against a character you hate. It's not very entertaining because it's just the whole thing of, well, then what was the point of
you underestimate the power of spite.
I know for the power of spite, but
then otherwise
even if
it was actually
like even if you had like, let's just say, Melina, a character I hate, even if I had her going up against somebody I really like, even I wouldn't be so much of an asshole as to have just the animation have Melina just get shit stomped and never have her get an advantage at all, because then it doesn't feel like you're giving any sort of character due justice. You're just giving the character, the one character, all the cool stuff in the fight, and then the other character doesn't get anything.
It also just makes it like way too predictable.
Yeah. So I like
that's the reverse of it, but like they did in Wolverine versus Raiden, they focused in on what Wolverine's advantages are. Well, that's just one example. They've done it in other fights. It's just that's the one they did it the best
but they've also had like complete curb stomps and had the fight still be close and be enjoyable, like Raiden versus Thor. Or Thor, as Mo likes to pronounce.
That's just the fucking accent. Jesus.
Or like
anyway, but yeah, that one was like nothing Raiden does can hurt Thor in any way, and Thor pretty much shits all over him, and yet Raiden was still pretty much able to keep up with him in the fight, and people enjoyed that from what I've seen.
We watched the same fight.
No, nobody wants to see a fight end in 2 seconds. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see a fight end in 2 seconds,
if they honestly wanted it to be based on the research, it would have just been fight/KO.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that unless they pay $150 for a pay-per-view match and just watch some MMA guy just get knocked the fuck out in 3 seconds.
Oh, you mean
Mayweather versus Pacquiao a couple years back.
Exactly.
You pay for your main event at Survivor Series and Brock Lesnar loses to Goldberg in 22 seconds. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I mean, I see the point you're trying to make, but
yeah, it's more so that you can have the fight drag out and be kind of but it should reflect the research more. I get what they were going for with the Voltron losing the arm, is that in the research section they had, oh, if you hit it in a certain place, its arm can fall off. Yeah, it's like, okay, but I don't know.
I'm not sure if it was that, just because like
I thought that's what it was.
I don't.
I'm not sure because
that's the big.
It didn't seem that way to me. It just seemed like, oh, here's a little fake out for you, or I feel like
something the Megazord just gets something out of it. Oh, they were able to cut it off at least, even though
I do think they hit the release plate, because if Lance had died, I think Voltron would have deformed. So then again, it could be just a critical research failure. I don't
think we got a I don't think Lance technically died in that. The thing fell off, but I don't think Lance died.
I mean, it didn't like blow up or anything, so
it just fell off. So.
By the way, the best part of the fight was actually just Paige's beast mode after that. That was like the whole
of him going completely nuts.
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but you know that clip that they use in the analysis for like Paige's Unhinged? They have like that weird shot.
Him running at them with a freaking active grenade.
Yeah.
Apparently, for his audition, they actually made Kaiser do that 16-second yell in that exact
position. Oh, that's wonderful.
That's great.
That's wonderful.
I wish I could see it myself.
See, I like the behind-the-scenes stuff they say, because you could just get ridiculous as hell moments. Like,
was this in the behind-the-scenes commentary for the episode, or that podcast?
It was in the cast, and also they said that Torian had to be in that same position for a while so he could get the mocap down for it.
That's awesome.
Also, the song was really cool, but I don't know why. I only heard like the Power Rangers stuff in that theme. I didn't hear like anything that sounded Voltron related in there.
When it's like kind of it goes. In the whole thing, it's Go Power Rangers, and then it goes to the Voltron team, and that kind of repeats. And then in the middle, it's kind of a guitar riff mixed with classic Voltron stuff. If you have you listened to the track on its own, Wolf? because Brandon put it up on his YouTube channel.
I did listen to it on its own, but I don't think I got to the Voltron section.
Yeah, it's just the whole way through. It's just kind of swapping between the two up until the end, where it just goes full on guitar riff. So
yeah, which let's be honest, that is a good thing there, because it's like even if you didn't know who wins, it's like, oh man, it's not gonna listen to anybody's theme. It could be either of them. And then it turns out it's Voltron, because Voltron is just better in terms of stats.
Yes, only stats. Of course. Of course.
Anyway, moving on to the thing that Mo doesn't want to talk about, despite the fact that we have to.
But he has to.
I really don't.
Okay. Yuko versus Roy Mustang, right? Oh wait, or was it Ghost Rider versus Scorpion? It's not a other fire match, of course. Not at all, right?
Yeah. It totally isn't a fight match that I didn't really want either.
Nobody wanted this.
Let's be honest, no one wanted this.
Unless they saw the 1 minute melee, in which case they wanted it.
I'm one out of all of us who likes half the show.
But yeah, it's, in case you don't know what we're talking about, it's Ace from One Piece versus Natsu from Fairy Tail. Fuck!
Yeah.
It's like having cancer fight Ebola.
Okay, no, okay, let's keep it, let's not get too negative, okay? You know the comments, they hate when we're negative.
Compared to how I normally am, I'm gonna be relatively quiet, and I think this section should just be Mac and Grand Blazer just.
Yeah, because again, I don't watch anime as much as other people do.
So yeah,
choice.
So
good plan.
Mac and GB, you two are the guys to turn to here. So who wants to go first?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess
go crazy.
We've been arguing on the forums a bit, but of course they don't know us. So I guess we should just repeat some arguments that we've said there, but the first big thing that everyone jumps to when this match comes up is Natsu can eat Ace, right? So you had some words to say about that from what I remember, Meta.
Yeah, okay, so if you don't watch One Piece, basically Ace ate the
don't.
Okay.
Well, that was a convincing argument. I wonder if they could ever have any arguments like that before.
So I highly recommend you do watch it. You can finish it. If you start right now, you can finish it in 400 years. So I mean, it's good. Now it's a good time it's ending to come in. But okay, so Ace ate the Meru no Mi, which is a Logia fruit, and basically he can turn his body into fire. You can phase through attacks. You can control fire. You can generate limitless amounts of fire almost, and that's pretty much it.
And if you don't know Fairy Tail, Natsu is a fire dragon slayer, and part of his big thing is that he can actually eat fire. So of course, part of the big thing with this matchup is, if Ace turns into fire, Natsu can just eat him, right? GG, that's it, right?
Natsu sounds more cool than he actually is.
That's pretty much where everybody agrees. Most people who are somewhat familiar just kind of call it quits right there, and just say, oh well, you have a guy who turns into fire, you got a guy who can eat fire, so and then the guy who can eat fire, he's immune to fire, and he can control fire as well. So it's just kind of like a stalemate, and then the logical conclusion from there would be oh, he could just eat Ace, GG, like he said, yeah, pretty much. What was your question, Wolf?
I didn't have a question. I was basically saying Natsu sounds more cool than he actually is.
Hey,
let's be nice.
Let's not go there, at least with me around. You guys can have your private talks about that.
We'll shit him in the next podcast when GB isn't here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
so
skip
you
that.
can look
You
forward
don't
to that.
mind.
You can look forward to that, Mac.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
Who are you and what are we doing with Mac?
We should probably get to the actual argument here.
Yeah, just do that quick before we
okay, so
then analyze Mac's character instead.
The reason why this fight is really, really dumb to have is because you have two characters who can control fire, and that's the thing that they're most famous for, and it's the most exciting thing to see, and that's why everybody wants to see. It's just two fire people who are using fire and just fucking each other up. The thing is that they're both immune, and it's completely fucking worthless. So you take that, the majority of their abilities is just going to not do anything to each other at all. So you have two fire guys, and it's just going to end up being a melee fight, and they can't use any fire because it helps each other. Because for Natsu's case, he can just eat fire and then replenishes his stamina. And for Ace, it's just he's literally a fire elemental. So it's like trying to take out a house fire with a flamethrower. It's just giving him more to work with, basically. And so
I see no problem with that solution.
Yeah, I know, it makes perfect sense, but
I will be a fireman one day.
But yeah, so the thing that also makes this annoying is that, logically speaking, and Blazer might disagree with me here. That's why we brought him on here, so we can get all these different opinions and stuff. Ace, he heavily relies on scaling because okay, spoiler alert for those who don't watch One Piece. I would suggest you skip to some later part of the video, I guess. But Ace,
you knew what you were signing up for.
Yeah, Ace dies. He gets killed by Akainu, who ate I forgot what it's called in Japanese, but I'm not a weeaboo, so it's just a magma fruit, basically. It's the same thing, but he was able to kill Ace with the magma fruit, and because of that, we don't really see that many feats, because the whole series is focused on Luffy and the Straw Hats, and so we don't really see much of Ace.
Wait, a guy who's immune to fire died to heat?
To magma, yeah.
What?
It's like what?
Did he drown?
Magma is not fire. Magma is molten rock.
And it's considered a superior element. It's like better than fire.
Think of it like this, Mo. It's like using a ground or rock type move on a fire type. That it also can cause burns.
I guess that's kind of like a good way to think of it. Yeah.
I want to see that move now. I want to see that Pokemon move. Ground type move that can cause burn. Okay, go on, quick. I'll distract myself. Yeah, quick.
So if you use scaling, Ace is a Whitebeard commander, and the Whitebeard commanders are able to at least hold their own against the admirals, and the admirals are like really big deals in One Piece. So these guys are like for Aokiji and Akainu, they can permanently alter the climate and the geography of an island just as like a side effect from a 10-day long battle straight. And Ace was able to perfectly cancel out a ice attack from Aokiji. So logically he should be like, he scales to like, if you look for like the calculations and stuff, there's going to be a blog that I'm going to be a part of. So look out for that.
We want you
shameless upload.
We want you
all there. It's just
back.
Huh?
We wanted you on ours. We want you back, but
I'm sorry, dude. But they asked me first.
I know. Med told me.
Why not just?
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm a hot commodity, man.
You can be a blood slut. There's a title. You can be a blood.
Anyway, so
slut.
kind of like the basics of it.
The basics of it is that if Natsu's gonna win because he has a lot more like straight up feats that you can actually see, whereas
Ace has
like scaling.
And we were talking about it kind of before we started recording, but that's the style that like Death Battle has with this stuff. They prefer like stuff that the character themselves has done rather than like what they scale to.
Right, exactly.
They've always had that.
Because that requires like a whole
Does Ace have any feats at all?
What thing?
Like direct feats. Does Ace have any?
He stopped like some sort of snowing on a mountain or an island, from what I remember, right?
Oh, Ace, yeah. Basically, he went to Drum Island, which is where Chopper's from, and it's just like this giant snowy island. It just constantly snows, and when he showed up, like just by him existing on this island, it stopped the snowfall from happening. So it just like kind of like changed the weather throughout this pretty sizable island. So that came out to like 27 megatons or something like that. That's like city level, and that's just by That's just kind of like by standing there, existing.
Isn't that like way higher than anything that Fairy Tail has?
Not necessarily. Well, okay, so
I wouldn't. There's some
if you
debatable.
Say to me, no, GB, I mean Natsu specifically, and I'm open to nearly anything, but if that second Erza meteor shit comes up, I swear to Christ.
Oh boy, here we go again.
That wasn't where I was gonna go with
that. Okay, just as long as that doesn't come up.
I know what the big
you have to say.
I know what the big deal. I know what the big deal over it is. I know that's like pretty controversial. Like, Mac, you've probably dug into that feat more than I have, but from what I recall, it kind of ranges between like I've seen, from what I've heard, it ranges from like hypersonic to relativistic, and then there's like city level to, I think someone got continent level somehow, but I don't buy that for a second. But I mean, there was like this whole thing with, I'm not sure how legitimate you guys might consider this, but there was this one guy, August, who's also like, he was like equal to the person who caused the Erza meteor feat, and he attempted to like blow up the entire country, but he got stopped halfway through the attack. And August, Zareth, who Natsu is currently fighting, should reasonably be above him, so you could kind of make like Natsu's country from that, but I'm not sure.
Natsu's fighting him again? I remember Matt keeps our chat updated on Fairy Tail, and like I remember he like started with him fighting Zareth or something.
Yeah,
he
did
fight
again.
Zareth. Yeah,
don't go into that just because. Don't go into that just because, you know, in case some people might want to read Fairy Tail, don't spoil it. But yes, they fought before, and now they're fighting again. And you guys, Mac, you saw my posts probably, but Wolf and Mo, I'm not sure if you did. And then
I haven't been lurking on the forums as I'm allowed to do in a while.
But I haven't been lurking on the forums since ever.
Basically. So this fight's coming out, and like I'm of course like a huge Fairy Tail fan, so I keep up with the manga a lot. And just yesterday, the new chapter comes out, and while Natsu's fighting Zareth, he's like, we see his skin transform into that of a dragon. So it's like, oh, he's going Dragon Force, but it's like that's what pisses me off about this match, is that like they already did Erza and she got her media feat like a month later, so you'd think that they'd have learned to wait until Fairy Tail was over for this, but they didn't. And we can see that Natsu is like getting big boosts now. So even if Ace like does reasonably win, like Mac is pushing, and I can see why, it's like it could be outdated within a month, and it just pisses me off.
It's pretty much the same problem that Tracer vs. Scout had.
Yeah, that's a completely fair assessment, actually.
And then there's the big one. There's Dragon Ball Super and stuff too. That's
yes.
Let's cause more rage in the comments.
Let's be fair. Let's be 100% fair. He wouldn't have won anyway. Like whatever about if he should have won the debate. If he should have won the debate, he would not have won the death battle.
Which is
kind of shame. Yeah, I can see where you go.
That's kind of like how Death Battle is, because I doubt they're all like they keep up with Fairy Tail and One Piece and stuff. So I don't think they really knew that Fairy Tail's in its last arc right now. Maybe they did.
No, they did.
But
I'm pretty sure they did, because I messaged my bro KK. He messaged one of the researchers for it, and they were like, and he was like, dude, you have got to get them to pay close attention to Fairy Tail right now because of this. And, you know, like, I hope that they know, but I think, like, they responded back, like, oh, they, like, the big heads, like, in chat, they said they're going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
So, interpret that how you will.
That's still a pretty narrow time to, like, update anything that might happen.
In theory, you'd only have to change the finish of a fight and their research portion, which would only be a recording and a little bit of editing. It's 100% doable.
Well, I mean,
that's true.
I'm talking about if like the hypothetical situation where it's like, oh, I mean, I doubt they're going to actually go this way, but if they did have not Ace win and then something like came that changed their mind, and say that Natsu will win, that's like they have to get back in touch with the animator and make a new ending, and then they have to change the research with that way, and then it's
here's the thing: is
it's work.
Hang on, sorry, push talks back in weird. And the thing is that like the fairy tale chapters, they come out like earliest is like Saturday, but latest can be Sunday. So like they'd have to record all of that within the day and edit it, and then Jets would have to go back and like change the ending.
Oh, Jets.
Yeah,
Jets, is it? Jets is animating?
Yeah, they confirmed it
cool.
on the recent.
Okay.
And anybody who knows anything about animating or video making, like Mo and I do, you know that having to go in and make last-minute changes can take a long-ass time, even for small stuff.
It depends on what way they go about it. One thing I wanted to know when we started this, that I really wanted to know, I'm good at this whole English thing, is that do Natsu and Ace have any other methods of attack beyond punching and fire? Because Natsu well be what's
Natsu does. Natsu has the Lightning Flame Dragon mode, and he gets lightning powers from that.
He also has Happy.
Well, obviously Happy's not.
Wolf.
There's no way Happy.
Well, maybe he would be. Maybe.
Yeah. If they didn't include the second Dragonzord last time, they're not going to include Happy.
Yeah, but yeah, Natsu has the lightning thing. I don't believe Ace has anything like that. Mackie can correct me if I'm wrong.
He definitely has Conqueror's Hockey, but we don't know if he ever like mastered it or anything, or if he ever was like
from
hang on.
Most likely,
exactly?
No.
I've heard that name going around, but I'm not sure what it is. So
that's the one that makes the fodder kill themselves or something, isn't it?
It's not kill them. No, not to kill themselves. It just knocks them out. Basically, it makes them like foam at the
All right, so it's fucking useless. Got it.
Yeah, so that's basically useless. But the thing is, and this is completely fan theory mode. So you can take this one.
Oh god damn it!
So
Alright.
basically, Conqueror's Hockey is like the premier holy shit version of hockey. That's like the one that like it's the super rare one. Only like basically the super important people have it. All the Yonko, not the admirals, but Luffy has it. The Emperors have it, and Ace had it. And
so wait. The most useless form of hockey is the super rare one.
Exactly. So maybe that comes
quality.
It'll probably be explained, and maybe like there's some like hidden ability with it that will like become like super OP later on down the road. But right now, that's basically all it does. Is just knocks out. But the thing that I was trying to make, the point I was trying to make with it is that every single person who had Conqueror's Hockey was able to use the other two. So they're able to use the Buso Shoku Hockey, which is the I won't be a weeb. It's just called Armament Hockey, and then the other one is the Observation Hockey, which would be the
we remember those from
remember that from Zoro.
Yeah, from Zoro.
Yeah, Zoro Vierza, where Zoro made his swords harder and had precog. Okay, all right, fair. But so also, I do remember you going into it a little bit during Zoro Vierza. I don't know if it was on recording or not, but you said that Ace was a something type of hockey.
He had the Conqueror's Hockey.
Or no, something type of fruit, or whatever.
Logia.
He was like a certain. That's the one that makes. Yeah, what there was. I remember when I researched it a bit on my own, not much because I felt getting sick researching either of these two. No, I'm not even kidding. They sound awful. I'm not touching either. This is not. Anyway.
Sabo's
come on.
Anyway, isn't there like something weird about that, like intangibility or something, or I don't know.
That's kind of what we were going on with. So,
like with that, how would that translate into melee or whatever? Melee or English.
Okay, so let me just wrap up the point I was trying to make before. But okay, so
I'm sorry.
Logically speaking, Ace would, because he's like a Whitebeard commander and he's in like the most dangerous sea and he's super experienced and stuff, or he was before he got fucking a hole in his chest. He should, by some logic, have like those kind of hockey. But the thing is that we've never seen him use it, so we shouldn't assume that he has it. But every other character who had Conqueror's Hockey has at least one of the other forms, if not both. The only one who hasn't shown both is Boa Hancock, but she most likely has the other one too. But as for the intangibility, yeah, it's not like Martian Manhunter where he just phases through things and stuff, but it's that he turns parts of his body into fire. So if you were to like shoot him with a bullet, that bullet would just go through him because that part of his body turns into fire, and it just goes.
Oh, so that
back. And it's also
okay.
Yeah, this also kind of extends to like his regeneration and stuff. So if you were to like blow a part of him off or something, no homo, but if you were like to blow his arm off or something, like if you like with a big ass explosion and then part of his body is gone, but that part would just be flames and stuff, and then he could just regenerate like a new arm out of like flames and shit. And the only way you could get through that is with a couple of weaknesses that he has, which is, if you touch him with sea stone, because devil fruits are weak to the sea, and that's why they can't swim either. And if you have like magma abilities that are like at least as powerful as a Kainu's, then you should be able to like burn him. And if you have the Armin hockey, then you're able to like turn off his devil fruit kind of and be able to punch him. So those are really the only ways you can like be able to hurt Ace, actually. And
so from what I'm getting, Ace can literally not be hurt by Natsu, whereas Natsu can be punched by Ace, and that's about it.
Well,
that's about it. And then we go into the whole can Natsu beat him?
Okay, we are getting really low on time. We're almost at 45 minutes here, people.
I can't get over the fact that the actual debate in this fight is, can this dude eat another dude?
Well,
if he can, he wins. If he doesn't, he loses.
Well, I mean, it's a more obscure way of going out.
That's the dumbest thing. Okay,
whatever. Dude, okay,
can we move on?
Mo.
Is that okay with you guys?
Look, we're running out of time, alright?
Yeah,
we have a time crunch here, and we're already way past when we were supposed to be the halfway point. We still got a shit ton of other things to talk about.
Okay, so to sum it up, Ace is like at least an item level by scaling, and he shouldn't be eaten by Natsu because he doesn't turn his entire body into flames, like unless his entire body is destroyed, then he can turn back into human form rather quickly. But for the majority of the time, whenever an attack damages his body, he just turns into flames, and then most of his body is still solid, so Natsu can't really eat him. And even if and this kind of is a little bit controversial, but if Natsu tries to eat him should try to eat him when Ace is completely in fire mode, and he just somehow gets Ace into him, he should be able to like just turn human while inside like his mouth or his stomach or something.
Well,
maybe not.
Gee, I wonder how that sounds familiar.
Oh god! And then he turns it into.
Here's the thing. I wonder though. When Natsu eats something, does it turn into fire? Does it stay fire in him, or does it convert the fire into like it's magic in Fairy Tail? He gets stamina pretty quickly from after he eats it and stuff, but that's where it's like it applies. Does it turn into magic or stay fire? Because if it turns into magic, then it should still work. If it turns into fire, great.
Wait, I missed that. Say it again.
The answer is that we don't really know. If he does turn instantly into like either magic power, if he remains fire and then he just gets digested or something.
Well, from what I can tell, he eats the fire and it like works for his hunger, but he also like seems to get the energy from it like right away. So I mean, obviously they haven't.
Yeah, so if he can use it for his normal stamina, then in theory it should turn him into energy rather than stay fire, which would kill Ace.
Great.
So that's what it comes down to. Does he stay fire when he's eaten?
Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. We're running out of time. We still have a shit ton of. This is only the second topic we're covering.
Okay, basic summary. When does Ace turn to magic or whatever when he's eaten, and that's the fight. Could be right or wrong. We'll see.
And that's if it's like successful at all. Ace would have to be.
Meta, weren't you the one that said you had to go very soon? Why are you trying to extend this?
Well, I have 30 minutes. But
oh god damn!
And we still have
Anyway,
a shit ton of other topics.
DBX.
We can bullet.
DBX.
Yeah.
Alright, good.
Let's just move on.
Raphael.
It was good.
Yeah, moving on. Raphael versus Wolverine.
It was a really good DBX.
Yes, it was. Very short though, and I feel like the here we go was a little too early.
It's easily top 3.
Yeah, it's still very good quality. I'm not gonna dock points just for what.
The only problem I have is like, and it's such a minor thing. I kind of agree with Wolf is that it's like they kind of like it's just like, oh, here we go right away, right? Like not even
when they had a perfect moment quite a few seconds later.
If I was to complain about, I think it was. It is a nitpicky thing. If I was to complain about something legitimately, I think the sprites were kind of bad, but they also fit together. They really fit together.
They do fit together,
so it's okay.
Really.
I don't know.
Aren't those sprites that they use for like the side-scrolling beat-em-ups or something? Or
I think so.
Well, I'll tell you.
Obviously, Raph's isn't from the TMNT game that they're in.
Earlier today, when we were recording this just because I wanted to, I was looking up Raphael and Wolverine sprites, and I gotta say, of what I found, those two worked the most. But I don't know if any of you noticed this, but there was actually this moment in the fight where the design of the sprite that Raph had, it completely changed for like one part of the animation, and then it went back. I can post some screenshots that I took of it to the chat, maybe like Mo would have been in, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just something that I
I'll
found.
try it.
Okay, moving on. The new 1 minute melee, oxygen versus air.
As we are recording this right now, hold on, I'm just gonna double check.
1 minute melee is not out yet, I've already checked.
Yeah, it's going to be bison versus geese, I think, is what it is. It's not out yet, and we need to record this today because we don't have another chance in.
We don't have another chance until after.
So, if you want, we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah. Moving on. Okay, Blazer, you are our guest here. We usually have a thing we do when we have guests here. So, what is your favorite death battle they've done so far?
Okay, so, I mean, it's kind of hard to determine because I've done so many and I like a lot of them. But I'd say one that stuck out for me for the longest time, I feel like deserves a bit more love, is the Pokemon Battle Royale.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think we've talked about that much. It's a really cool fight.
I mean, you talked about it on your Season 2 list.
Yeah, I talked about it. I don't think we've ever talked about it on the podcast, ever.
Okay, my opinion on it is that it's well animated, but I don't actually like it that much. Say me as Mr. I think it's really, how do I say? How do I put this into words beyond text that sound good without excessive swearing as I.
Without looking like an asshole.
Words.
Yeah, without looking like an asshole, as is the objective here. It didn't need to exist. Like in terms of it's not answering.
It was unnecessary.
A question. It's compiling numbers of. Yeah, it's just compiling numbers of how they actually match up in the game, which is obvious to most people that play the game. But then if you wanted to compare the feats of what Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur have done across the different Pokemon media, and even at the point that fight aired, there was a lot of them. Yeah, it would actually be decently interesting because you have Ash's Charizard and Alan's Charizard from the anime kind of repping Charizards. We have and then later on Red's Charizard as well. We have Red's Venusaur in the manga, and Blastoise kind of got the short end of the stick everywhere. But yeah, no, there was many other ways they could have gone about it that I think would have made for a better fight. Personally, with the way they analyze it, yeah, obviously Blastoise won. It's one of those ones you can't really debate. But I think had they looked into
that was one of the things that I appreciate about it. Is that you can debate against it.
But
also,
then again,
that's true too. Yeah, I can agree with Blazer that it's it's a specific way to do it, and that's only one way of looking at it. But at the same time, that's a very clear-cut way to.
Yeah, it's the one that will have the least amount of people that will debate against it.
I'd say it's the fight with the smallest amount of room for argument. Because the most you could say is like they didn't bring in Ashes or anything else.
Yeah,
but they were saying it was maxed out wild Pokemon,
they specifically
excluded Pokemon.
Those, and it's honestly what they did was fine. I just think they could have gone a more entertaining way about it and really dug into Pokemon lore across all of the different forms of media and had a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
And personally, from what I know, I look into all things Pokemon, as you all have probably figured out by now. Yeah, Charizard would have probably won.
He has a Yu-Gi-Oh avatar
but with the... Oh yeah, on Discord I have a Yu-Gi-Oh avatar, but I'm still using the Heatran on the podcast. So, what's it called? Oh, Charizard. Just any feat that Venusaur and Blastoise have that's particularly impressive, there tends to be a Charizard with them in other media. But Charizard has so many standalone feats, including beating the crap out of Blastoise a lot of times.
It's because Charizard is the favorite.
Yeah, I don't prefer Charizard over the other two. In fact,
I know, but it's just like amongst the fan base, Charizard is the favorite child.
Yeah, I know. I had that debate with someone else earlier today. No, if I was to pick my favorite of the three, it'd probably be Venusaur. But just to be different.
Unpopular opinion.
Just to be different. But I like Charizard's Megas more. Anyway,
no. Moving on.
But,
anyways, basic
yeah,
summary
Charizard would have won in a normal debate.
Yeah.
Basic summary. So I really like the animation. I really like the analysis, and I just thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's fine, but I think they could have done better. It's fair to like it though. I won't disagree.
Moving along.
Moving on. All right, Blazer, what is your least favorite fight they've done so far?
Okay, so
shit. Hold on.
The people that I talked to, or the other guys that I talked to, they probably all know it's coming, or maybe they don't. And Mo might get mad at this, but ironically, while my favorite is the Battle Royale, my least favorite was Charizard vs. Greymon. And no, I'm not gonna call it Pokemon vs. Digimon. I refuse to ever do that.
Thank you! And he's muted himself.
I wonder if he knows.
He's probably gonna be talking about it.
Alright, I have to take a phone call.
Alright, that's fine. Alright, so yeah.
Mo's gonna be mad at this, but my least favorite fight is Pokemon or Charizard vs.
Yeah,
Greymon.
the Charizard vs. Greymon.
I really like the fight, but I can also understand why it's not liked. I just want to know why, pretty much. What's your reason?
Go ahead.
Okay, so
because there's many reasons to dislike it.
Okay, so first off, I will say that it is correct, as much as it kind of pains me to say that.
Same.
And Nate Wants to Battle, who I love, if you guys don't know, he did like this awesome track for it, and like him, Todd Habercorn, who voices Natsu, by the way, if you didn't know, and Xander Mobus, they're all in my top 5 favorite voice actors ever, so that was really cool. But then you bring them all together, and I'm like, oh, Xander Mobus and Todd Habercorn just burned Nate alive, and that hurt. And also, I really didn't like the animation. I
don't think it's fine.
Blazer, if it makes you feel better, he probably didn't feel the heat from that much or for long.
Yeah, I've heard about that. But I still found it kind of messed up. But the animation, I would say
that's one of the most fucked up deaths in the show. They
Yeah,
broke his legs and then burnt him alive.
Finish.
Yeah.
We're on a timer.
I'd say that it's probably in Torian's like bottom 3 animations, along with Yang vs. Tifa and Laura vs. Nate. And also, I've never seen you guys mention this on the podcast. So, like, correct me if you actually did.
No, go ahead.
The friends versus slaves thing killed me.
Yes!
Oh,
fuck yes!
Okay,
we talked about this!
We have talked about
fuck
that.
That comment!
We agree. Okay, I disagree with the animation point, but I agree with like nearly everything else you've said. Yeah. Especially that point. Oh my god, that hurt my soul!
That was a fuck you moment!
I think... Okay, just to give you guys like how much that painting is, like, normally people say like, oh, like they didn't say his character is as powerful as they are, and that's like disrespectful, or like, oh, they gave them this like totally brutal death.
I know where
this I think is objectively the most disrespectful they've ever been.
Yeah.
To a series, and they've done it to
yeah
they've done it to
before, and they're going to keep doing it.
They did it to
Pikachu. Like, oh, he's completely incapable without Ash. Like he's like actually incapable, and I could go on about that, but I won't.
Yeah.
But this one, where they did the same thing as my least favorite part about the animation is Charizard standing around confused after Tai punches Red. It's like, what? No! Have you not watched or read anything Pokemon? If you heard a Pokemon's trainer, they're going to get pissed. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
There is a bond there, and it's not one of master and slave or animal. It's like they're actually friends. That's the whole point of every single piece of Pokemon media.
Just like...
You know what probably would have made more sense? If Charizard went into a wild fury because of Red being hurt, and that's what caused
and then Wargreymon came and did the same thing.
What could have worked is like Charizard, like he sees Tai attacking Red, so he goes over to save Red, but then Wargreymon comes in and stabs him, and that would have been cool.
That would have worked.
Like, the thing is clearly coming at him, but he's just standing there and gets stabbed in the chest. Like, a Pokemon wouldn't reasonably do that.
Yeah, I mean, like I can agree with, like, basic summary is that, like, this, like, you can list, like, tons of different, like, little moments where they disrespected a character and stuff, but that's, like, a single character.
Yeah, no, that's not just a character. That's a franchise and a fan base they disrespected with that line.
It's pretty messed up. Yeah, like I personally, I really liked Cammy, and I hated what they did to Cammy in that. When cry like a bitch, but this was objectively like pretty. This was taking a franchise and what it's about and turning it into literally the exact opposite.
And then basically saying to
that's the whole point of
fuck
Pokemon.
you don't give a shit about your friend.
The whole point of Pokemon Black and White was to show the opposite of this, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely like I really don't think it was like anything malicious about it, but it definitely is ignorant. So
yeah,
it's ignorant.
It's to use that phrase that some people probably get sick of. It's memeing. It's taking the meme definition of Pokemon and making it canon.
Yeah.
And it's very fucked up.
I can tell
when you see casual fans talking about it, it's the same thing. You don't even need to get that deep into series lore because Pokemon is not a deep series. They spell it out for you that this is a mutual thing.
It's basically Barney.
I think in the Canlave library I think it's in the Canlave library. They bring up that.
Oh god! I hope you're not going.
It's not that one.
We're not going that far.
Okay, cool.
It's not that one. They bring up that the reason Pokemon first appeared to humans is they were kind of looking for a mutual relationship thing, and whenever you find a Pokemon in the wild, it's because they want to get stronger and they're kind of testing it. And in the anime, it's kind of the same.
Wait, were you talking about Pokemon marrying humans? That thing?
No! God, that's what we were trying to avoid!
Okay, we need to move on. We need to
keep going. Okay.
So, Blazer, what is a fight that you want to see in Death Battle that they haven't done yet?
Okay, we were talking about it, slightly before we got started here, and I'm not quite get this. My most wanted fight is Pit versus Sora.
Ooh,
and you will probably get it.
What do you have against Pit, though?
What do you mean against Pit? Pit's gonna kick Sora's ass, and the freaking Kingdom Hearts fanboys are gonna get pissed.
Nah,
I have nothing against them. It's just that I know of Torian's love for Kingdom Hearts, and I mean, there's no way it wouldn't be in 3D. So I just think like it'd be a really cool matchup because they both got like a crap ton of weapons. And I mean, sure, you can see what he did with Dante versus Bayonetta. Like, he could bring in like tons.
And then you have fair. Magic and stuff. That was pretty cool.
That's all fair and well and good, but I like Pit, but he dies to Sora so hard.
Yeah,
he dies.
That's assuming they get that right, because Sora relies on a lot of like really lore. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, Sora. There could be.
That is true.
Otherwise,
it's true, but I mean,
it's his best.
I think the thing is about Pit is other than the Lightning Chariot, which there's no way they're going to give him that, like all the crazy shit that gives him. Most of his best stats rely on gear, like the Great Sacred and 3 Sacred Treasures, and they probably they won't let him keep those either. I think
might get the 3 Sacred, but I wouldn't. I would put no bets on
the Great Sacred. Yeah, fair. Personally, I think, like, stats aside, although Sora does shit on him, isn't there a time when either Sora or Roxas, who they'll definitely give Sora all Roxas feats, one of them like cuts a skyscraper or something? I can't remember.
That was Sora.
That was Sora.
Yeah, so that's probably the stat win right there. But Sora's magic and all of that, like, just stop alone. Was that Hades? I think, yeah, he fought Hades, but like he was in the Great Sacred Treasure, which is the issue. If he's in the Great Sacred Treasure, he might take the stats. But...
Well, I mean, if they give Sora like his drive states in final form, and they're definitely going to give that.
You can talk about how like Sora's like most direct feed is, you know, the cutting and building and half thing. But if we're being honest, Pit doesn't have that much either, so, you know, kind of evens out.
Yeah, so...
And it could be like a Hax thing, which, you know, could decide it too.
He's beaten Palutena, so he should scale to her, but whether or not... We don't know if Palutena was going full force on this issue.
I would debate that because...
because of the Chaos King,
I think there was something about her being weak in there, but I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
Like the entire thing is that the entire thing is that he's aiming for the Chaos King, so I'm not sure if you actually scale it.
Although you can kill Palutena, but it's not.
That's not canon, of course.
Yeah, it's not canon. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a cool matchup, and you're definitely gonna
let's move on because we have less than 20 minutes left.
I know.
It's gonna happen.
We can make this in 20 minutes.
So
now we move on to the emails. And if you want to send us an email, remember that next time we are doing questions and character suggestions for, like, who do you think should match up against a certain character and things about us and stuff like that.
Or like if you want us to talk about specific topics that are related to Death Battle, just not fights.
Yeah, email them at discussingdeathbattle@gmail.com. Oh look, it's appeared on the screen.
God damn it! There's the extra track. Okay.
Okay, so our first email.
First of all, good job with the request this time because there was quite a lot that we had to narrow down.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So first one, go on.
Okay, so the first one
was my favorite.
The first one comes from Purple Bazaar. He says, just a quick thanks for the wonderful podcast you guys do and all the sexy voices you provide. Really makes his day every time. Keep on rocking.
I'm just a sexy voice. Sex.
Anyway, he suggested 3 fights, and we narrowed it down to 1, and that one was Geese Howard from the King of Fighters versus Heihachi Mishima from Tekken.
Or, as it's also known, the 2 best characters in fiction fighting. They're the best characters ever.
So,
Heihachi.
That would leave this mostly to Mo.
Yeah, Heihachi dies. Like, holy shit. I love Heihachi. He's great. But Tekken as a whole can't keep up with King of Fighters. And Geese is near the top tier as King of Fighters. Like, he and Terry are roughly equal. Terry actually killed Geese, but I think Geese came...
But they had a good fight.
That might be non-canon. They had a good fight, and it was, yeah. And meanwhile, Heihachi's... Okay, in all fairness to Heihachi, and this is giving him 100% credit, he would beat Gouken. Unless you give Street Fighter characters like their best shit, and Death Battle will never do that. And just like Jin should beat Ryu, and Kazuya should beat Ken, or whatever. And yes, they should all beat Akuma, actually. But because Akuma's only city level, not island level, because that feat got recapped. Anyway, yes, Heihachi's really strong for Tekken. He is the being a Mishima, that's kind of a given because Mishimas are god tiers in Tekken. There's no Mishima who isn't in the top tier. The one who's closest to falling out of it is Lars, who's only a half-blood. But well, then again, I suppose Jin's a half-blood, but he has Kazama blood, which is also really strong.
And then there's that
Heihachi, though, Heihachi doesn't have the Devil G, unlike Kazumi, unlike Kazuya, unlike Jin. However, he can fight evenly with Kazuya and Jin, and has even beaten Kazuya when he's gone supposedly full Devil in Tekken 2. So yeah, Heihachi's pretty fucking strong.
Why doesn't Heihachi's
explosion? Because it's not in his bloodline. It's in Kazumi's bloodline, his wife. Okay. So that's why their kids have it. Kazumi's the final boss of Tekken 7.
But
that's the whole plot. Oh, fucking hell, my dick. But yeah, Hayachi's super. He's probably, I'd hesitate to call him a badass normal of the verse because Mishimas are not normal. The closest to a badass normal would be Paul, who I previously explained on the live stream why Paul is the best fat character in fiction. But yeah.
But wait, if this is the two best characters in fiction fighting each other, why is it not Geese versus Paul?
Because Paul's the best fighter in the universe, and it wouldn't be fair.
He's tier 0. He's tier infinity.
But yeah, Hayachi's he's something else for Tekken as a whole. He can keep up with his family, and Akuma, I suppose now. Despite the fact, because the whole story of Tekken 7 is Kazumi's going to try to kill her husband because he tried to kill Kazuya, and he's trying to kill Jin, and Jin's trying to kill all of them, and Kazumi has a backup plan, which is Akuma. Yeah, because, you know, if you're a Mishima, you're probably going to try kill anyone else who's related to you. And Hayachi's kind of the guy who started all this.
Yeah.
He's badass.
He threw his 5-year-old son off a fucking cliff because his 5-year-old son wouldn't live up to his standards.
After being beaten,
he was fine.
Kazuya, he came back and beat him again. He came back and beat Kazuya again. After Kazuya beat him in Tekken 1, Hayachi beat Kazuya in Tekken 2.
And threw Kazuya into a fucking volcano.
And killed him. He had to be restructured.
Wait, if he died, how is he still around?
Because G Corporation reformed him. They brought him back to life.
There'll probably be other Tekken fights before.
Plus Hayachi might well get matched up with Goken, and this fight only really took off because of the woman melee. So yeah.
Although I would not be surprised if they had if they brought back Ryu first and had him fight Jin, because that's another highly requested fight.
Right. Anyway,
I'm kind of dreading that because Jin should win.
Lucario versus Renamon.
Oh yeah, Lucario versus Renamon.
Yeah, well, let me fucking say the email first, guys. Anyway.
Okay, spoilers.
Next fight comes from Ethan Saucer, and he says, here are some fight suggestions. He gave a crap ton of them, and the one we decided to pick from them is... Oh, it's Ethan Saucer, apparently, not Saucer. Ethan gave us a couple suggestions. One was Lucario versus Renamon. Another fight that was a 1-minute melee.
Okay, GB has researched this, so let's let him go first before we never be shouted over it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a while since I've done Lucario digging, but from what I recall, because I got into a big debate with someone over this match, I won't name who, but it gets pretty close, and there's like, it's still probably like the closest Pokemon versus Digimon match that we have. I'm not crazy about it happening now after you know, Charizard versus Greymon, but from what I can tell, Lucario wins, unless you like, give.
I like Digimon Tamers a lot, but Renamon's a rookie level Digimon who's near featless. So
doesn't she also have an evolve?
Okay, let GD go. Let GD go.
Okay, well, I mean, I've like seen some of it, not a lot, maybe like 12 episodes, and like I feel the big thing was like, because like part of the thing with this was it's like, don't bring in the trainers or tamers because these two were like, they're kind of known for like being able to fight without them, and that's what most people are asking for. Plus, it's like there's a whole deal with like, oh, Aaron is kind of like Lucario's like #1 trainer, but like Karina is the one with Mega Evolution. Just don't let it be Cameron.
Actually, if you bring I disagree with that, GB, because if you bring in tamers, then Lucario will die. Therefore, use Cameron.
No,
oh my god, no.
I just don't want him being brought in. But anyways, so like most people pin it at, it's like, you could debate Lucario being able to Mega Evolve without a trainer, but I feel like for fairness, you'd at least like let Renamon go to Cubimon maybe.
Kyubimon, yeah. I think there's a scene in early Tamers where she may or may not have done it on her own, but it's really vague.
Yeah, I think I know what one you're talking about, and it's pretty vague, but and it's like, I've looked into it, and there's like a lot of like actually interesting stuff about it. Like, supposedly like one of Lucario's moves from I think it's Smash, is double team.
Yep.
And then there's like this whole thing of, oh, Renamon can like sense which is the real one, but I looked into that and it's like, no, wait. The reason she could sense, what's his name, Guilmon? The reason she could sense that was because Digimon sensed the Digimon, and there's like, it actually turns out to be a pretty cool debate, and it's not like just limited to one is like stronger than the other.
Actually, personally, from what I know of these, I disagree on that it's close. If it's Lucario versus Renamon, Lucario wins with stupid ease. But if it's Lucario and insert trainer here versus Renamon and Rika, Renamon wins with stupid ease. It's one of those. Because Lucario scales to Pikachu, he's beaten the Regis back, that's enough to take him over a rookie level Digimon. I don't know if you've actually, all three of you have probably seen it.
No.
Pikachu versus Agumon by Proto.
Oh yeah.
Remember that old dinosaur?
Still haven't seen any of his things as much as I'm a friend of his.
You're a horrible human being, Wolf. You're a horrible human being.
He doesn't seem interested in them anymore anyway. He doesn't seem like he wants that.
GB's talking. GB's talking.
Yes, I watched that like years ago, and Pikachu won.
Yeah. Pikachu won, exactly. I don't know if, I know GB probably has, every single time with one exception, Pikachu or Ash in general has fought Lucario, Max died.
There I am.
Yeah, every time Ash or Pikachu have fought Lucario,
I know where you're going with this.
They've lost except for one. Yeah, so Lucario scales quite easily to Pikachu, that's the shit all over Renamon.
To be fair, that one was when it was Mega. Although then that
was Kalos though. That was Kalos.
True. That was like the magnum opus.
Yeah.
But then also, Ash versus Maylene, Weasel actually tied with the Lucario, but I think it had already fought like Cerebia and Chimchar before that.
Yeah, and
like Weasel just learned Water Pulse, and there was also raining, so he had Swift Swim on him, and like that.
Yeah,
definitely
Weasel was powered up to fuck. Not only that, when Ash fought, you may have heard this name already, Cameron. Riolu evolved into Lucario and beat the shit out of Snivy and then Pikachu. And Cameron only brought 5 Pokemon. It is the most embarrassing defeat Ash Ketchum has ever had. Anyway, when Pikachu beat the Mega Lucario, it was made very clear earlier in the arc that Pikachu could not beat Mega Lucario on his own, which is why Fletchinder and Hawlucha had to basically throw themselves at it first before they could get past it. So Pikachu scales very cleanly to, or Lucario scales very cleanly to Pikachu overall. Okay. Also the Regis, which he beat down. Yeah. Meanwhile, Renamon, it's like city level Mach 3K or something like that. Yeah, so beats it pretty cleanly. I know Wolf, I'm almost done anyway. And Lucario has a fuckload of other abilities, like Aura being able to read minds apparently, or at least emotions. So he has a kind of a side up precog. And just being bullshit in general. Renamon is a rookie level Digimon with very little powers to call her own beyond what I think hers is leaves. She can fire leaves. So
if you give her Cubimon, she has a fire thing, but Lucario probably has the speed.
If you give her Cubimon, Lucario versus Cubimon is actually probably pretty fair. But then you put in Mega Lucario, and Mega Lucario probably shits all over her.
You would have to give her Mega Lucario.
Yeah, and if you gave Cubimon, you'd have to give Mega Lucario. Yeah. But again, as I said before...
Wait. Real quick, one thing that I want to mention is I feel like it'd probably be animated by Torian, and I feel like that'd be really good because they're both martial artists, and Torian is like super into that stuff. So
he is like really good for martial arts stuff.
Plus,
he could make a really good choreography.
Yeah, Lucario can also transition from styles, which I think Lucario is one of the coolest Pokemon you could put in a fight like this.
Yeah.
Because he can go from like staff fighting to fist fighting to projectile stab. Oh Jesus! So yeah, he has loads to do. So yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
Lucario wins if it's just Lucario versus Renamon, but you put Tamers in there, and obviously if you go past Cubimon, Lucario cannot keep up. That's the fight.
Okay,
moving on. We have our final request comes from CJ Olivia or Oliva. I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name, but
I know
he just
who that
goes
is.
CJ. Whatever. Anyway, His suggestion: Afro Samurai versus Samurai Jack.
And this one is most likely going to happen because this one is requested all the time, and finally I have something to talk about after these last two.
And it's actually irrelevant now.
Hey, you had
Samurai
your
Jack
time
Season
in the
5.
sun, Mac, with your fucking fire shit.
Basically.
Although he said in his email, disregard Samurai Jack Season 5 because of the guns.
Okay, but even then, even without Season 5, Samurai Jack absolutely fucking murders him.
So
why would
it's
you
actually okay to do
disregard
this one?
Season 5? Why would you disregard Season 5?
Just look at the email.
Although
He
it doesn't
said why.
add anything. It doesn't
Not
add
yet.
anything.
Well, I mean,
yeah, so
who
far.
knows what happens at the end.
Although Jack is probably going to kill a coup. He's probably going to kill a coup at the end of it, so...
but, yeah...
Because this is it. This is it.
Jack has better... probably has
everything
opponents to fight that are more worthy to him, because Afro... it's been a long time since I watched it, but I think he dodged bullets or something, so he has, like, some hypersonic feats, maybe some building level stuff here and there, but Samurai Jack, he reacted to sunlight, like legit sunlight from the sun, and he dodged it. That put him at relativistic speed, like 80% the speed of light for reactions. And he's also able to leap hundreds of meters into the air. And if we were to apply like reaction speed to like his sword swing, I don't know how legit that is, then he puts out like city level attacks in like the megatons. So he is fucking ridiculous, and he also has
Jack is
a tactician.
Badass.
He's fought against a lot more exotic opponents with all these different.
Plus, if you're to give him everything he has a fuckload of weapons with at least this season. Although obviously he stays true to his sword.
To put it in perspective, he probably would be like a fairly decent match for Zoro right now. To be honest, like that's how strong he is.
Okay.
Depending on how much shit you give him, he might beat Zoro.
I mean, might. Well, that depends on that. Like, yeah.
But yeah, that's just to give an idea of just how strong Jack is. Meanwhile, Afro would probably fight Kenshin, and you all probably have figured out by now how Zoro and Kenshin goes.
Yeah.
It's how many new assholes does Kenshin get for this fight? So yeah. Swiss cheese doesn't cover it. So yeah, Zoro, Jack probably has better fights, but this is the most requested one, and he wins it quite handily. That's the basics of it.
All the most requested fights are character wins single-handedly.
Oh yeah,
casuals don't know, man. Casuals don't know.
They just don't know.
And it gets even worse because at the end of this season, he might scale to Aku, who was basically the meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs last time I remembered. And
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. So that's like country level.
Oh, jeez.
So
yeah,
Jack is.
All right.
Don't fuckle with the jackal. Jackal.
Anyway. Well, this was fun, and it was really nice having you on
and
here,
rushed.
Blazer.
Thank you, sir. Call me back for Pip or Sora.
Oh, we will. You've got dibs now.
Alright, yep.
I do.
Yeah,
you got
fun,
dibs.
fun.
Congratulations. You got a claim because you were on here. You get to claim the match.
Just like D has
pretty much every mecha.
Yeah. Pretty much every mecha will have D back, and we'll let him talk next time. He comes.
Yeah, I'm sure Xenos will probably pay back for something with Leiwu. The guy he uses for his avatar ends up in Death Battle. But anyway, this was fun, and glad to have you here, and thank you all who are watching us for being here. And make sure that you watch Mo's streams, because Mo is...
If it happens, but I hope it will.
Yeah.
Because it
He's
was
a
fun.
lonely guy. Yeah.
Yep.
I have ADHD. I need someone to keep me focused.
Alright. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. Meta has to go get a haircut now.
Bye-bye.
He's a fucking shaggy bastard.
Yeah. So, we'll see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.
He's already gone. Bye, guys.
Yeah, he's already gone. He's like Batman.